Hi there, Cancer, and welcome to this, your October 2025 forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel St. James, clairvoyant. And for those interested in a personal reading or for a healing, the information is in the description. Now, this month, I think the reading might go shorter than normal. I have some really urgent academic matters that need to be completed, and it's really been eating into my time, but I can assure you that this reading will still provide the high level of quality and accuracy that you have come to expect. So show me the magic. Here is the King of Cups. This is the Eight of Cups. What do we have? The Knight of Swords. Very interesting. Very. The Magician. Oh, what is there here? Finally, for you, there is this. The Eight of Swords. Right, I'll bring the camera around and let's get straight into it.
Well, my dear Cancer, I think your emotions might be leading to some confusion in your mind, but what you do overcome, I think this confusion and a sort of a stagnation relates to a person that could be male or a female, because these chords could be either thing, but you have great things and success ahead of you and you charge on. Let's go through it, shall we, and deal with them as they are, because if anybody is able to deal with matters of emotions, it is you, isn't it? I think so anyway. Now here we have Saturn in Pisces. Well, Saturn is about structure and organization and discipline. It's a heavy energy. And Pisces, as you know, is, well, it's one of your sister signs. It's very intuitive, emotional, really, and it's as if Saturn has come in and deadens the water of Pisces. Now, this number 8 also has Mercury associated with it for me, and that's not a really strong planet. So there's going to be a moment here, I think, when you have a feeling of stagnation, of obstruction, of emotional blockage, and unclearness, sort of a swamp-like feeling, and the waters of your emotions, they all kind of stand still and are not replenished by any spring. And that water therefore begins to stagnate, and mists rise up and cloud your inner clarity. I think it might be that you have already wasted enough of your energy on someone who doesn't give you anything in return. You have filled them with your energy, but they're like a bottomless barrel. And maybe you feel empty and sucked dry. This could relate to a relationship in which the waters of the river have stopped and they stagnate. And the more that you try to fix up a relationship which has fallen into a rut, the more powerless and empty you can feel. And any attempt to fire up the other person just spreads your energies further, maybe without achieving any result. I think it's probably time for you to consider yourself and to set some limits and say no. Now, it just might be an old behavior pattern to always direct your love towards someone or people from whom nothing comes in return. And as a result, you might find that you are denying yourself pleasure, or that you have a lack of get up and go, which is a reaction to feeling empty or disappointed with something or someone. You wonder whether there's going to be anything that will fulfill you, but there will be. And then, of course, you see, thoughts, they lead to feelings, and feelings lead to actions, don't they? But thoughts and feelings are very much tied up together. And I think this thing speaks of your mind at the moment where, well, look, the astrology is Jupiter in Gemini, so Jupiter here is really the person that says, listen, good things are about to come. But with Jupiter in Gemini, you might find problems with endurance. Really, there could be worry, which is a result of thinking too much and difficulty in making a decision. You see, the number 8 is about making decisions. You could find yourself having to choose between two different courses of action. But the thing is, you see, even though this is very often to do with the mind, this suit, I don't think you get to a decision by using your mind. You see, your doubt, your fears of making the wrong choice, they constantly could destroy your inner clarity. And if you're lacking endurance, well, you need endurance to really clarify this confusing situation. And perhaps you're sitting around saying to yourself, look, wherever I turn, it doesn't seem that there's any satisfactory solution. Well, with Jupiter there, I would let things rest and develop on their own for a while. And as long as any doubt concerning a decision remains, don't go for anything new. You see, as I say, Jupiter does speak of unexpected change for the better, and a problem which until now has seemed to be unsolvable, it actually is going to work itself out in its own way. The overriding message here, I think, is that you can sometimes just work yourself into a shock by over-analysing things. And your mind, in relation to this, your mind just clogs up and you don't know what to do. And this is in a way saying you've got to be careful of that because, where is it? One of the things is this confusion is something which, look, confusion is a luxury really only for small children. And none of us are that anymore, are we? But here we have, I'm getting a lot of Pisces around here. I'm getting a lot of Capricorn and Aquarius is what I'm getting. Now, this can also be a man or a woman, but I think it's speaking of you, where you are actually going to come out of this emotional and intellectual rut, and you'll be full of good ideas. Now, in the beginning, you might be a bit unstable. Nevertheless, very, very clever. Now, you might find that you are very domineering during this period, very elusive and very reactive to things. Now, in many respects, I think you're going to be the mistress or the master of creative ideas, thinking and planning. But the base for being able to think creatively is an unrestricted freedom. The creative thought process can't tolerate being limited in any way. I suppose that's why he's got his sword up like that. Now, you will be very good at coming up with ideas, and ideas quickly. But the challenge that you'll have is not to move on to another good ideas without developing any of them. I think you might be independent and private. Some people might find you difficult to get to know, you know. I can't understand how that would be the case. But this is certainly saying slow down. Don't work yourself into a shock, probably about a person, and analyze what it is. Really think about what it is that you are thinking and what is a practical action plan that you can put into work. Now, here's where that Pisces element was coming through. That energy was dripping into that as well. This is Aquarius and Pisces all around here as I'm getting it. Energy there. So a lot of innovation coming your way and a lot of peace and spirituality and also creativity as well. Now, You will have a great capacity for giving and reaching higher emotional planes. This other person, though, I think that could be a man or a woman, somebody who just doesn't close the deal, that can't be pinned down, basically won't commit. A person who is really attracted to excitement and has enthusiasm for weird things. They're sensitive, but really deep down they are quite shallow. Now this person, look, here is the king. Well, that's fire and cups is water. Fire and water obviously don't mix, and it may well be that there are internal civil wars going on inside of this person, so much so that they could even be very liable to get right into the drink or recreational drugs, I would say. They can be untruthful, though. They're sensual, but in a way they're kind of lazy. Now, for you, you need to see this person as they are. Now, you may, as a default option, because you see, you're very sensitive by nature, and very often you can retreat into yourself when hurt or when you are disappointed by someone or something to do with a person. Well, we all have different lives, don't we? This person here, you see, does have the qualities of Venus, which is love and enjoyment and luxury, but they're very superficial. Their name is written in water. Very hard to reach their depths, though. And this other person, who, as I say, could be either male or female, can at best be loving and generous, supportive and tender. I will say this, though, they don't have any trouble in enticing other people to enjoy physical relationships with them. This person is ruled by emotions and not very practical, and they're going to try to flatter you and talk you around, but they won't close the deal. This person's very insecure, and they need constant reassurances, and I think that at worst, this is a person that can be seen as being unfaithful, fickle, shallow, highly emotional, and unreliable. But I think that this for you, though, during this time, is that you are going to be looking for people who have a similar sort of a mindset that you do. And you'll be asking yourself how the backwards and forwards in your relationships can be enriched. Have no fear, though, because you will find the contact that you now need. And that takes us finally, I think, to this guy. What's coming up here for you? Great powers of communication for you. Because as Mercury, the planet of Mercury, which is about communication, brain work, so your brain gets sorted out, your thoughts get sorted out, your communication ability will be on high. Look, if you put across your point of view straightforwardly and concisely, you'll be able to overcome all obstacles. And don't be afraid of making decisions. Sometimes these people can string us along, and it's better to remember that some people just are meant to be part of our history and not part of our destiny. You are going to be very brilliant, however, during this period, and you're going to take action. You're going to make decisions, because there's a power with you. And you bring into play plans and make things tangible. Your willpower is going to get you through. You're a very good talker, and I think that you've even got the opportunity to manipulate people if you want to, and I don't make any judgment about that. I also think that this is saying that you are going to have a great sense of timing and a flexibility in all aspects of communication. You're going to be very gifted, I think, in visual arts, that sort of stuff, as well as music. You'll have a great ability to see people's communication patterns and to see them for what they are rather than what you would like them to be. Communication is going to be a high priority for you this month because that's how you sort out any stagnation you feel emotionally or any confusion that you feel mentally. Because understand this, you have at your disposal brilliant capabilities which you can use and which you can share with other people. Now, one important task will be to find or create the proper surroundings for your activities. And quite apart from this person here, where do your talents lie? Play to your strengths. Visualize your ideal area of activity because you literally do have at your disposal everything within you that you need to make things happen and to make your life happy. Remember, this is about mental ability, and your life is what you think it is. Thoughts are so important to you at this time. Don't talk yourself down. Don't let in negative thoughts. Be your own cheerleader. Now visualize your ideal area of activity and say to yourself, I create magic when I use my God-given gifts and talents, and I honor the resource of skilled communication which is within me. And the full expression of my creative potential fulfills me, and it makes me happy and satisfied. What a great set of cards for you. Mate, it's so much better for you being
I
here.
really enjoyed your company during that reading, and unless I see you in the meantime for either a personal reading or for a healing, then I'll see you here again next month. And until then, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, it's bye for now.